I'm Trip Clark.
And I'm Tom Lang, and this is Open Throttle 360.
Open Throttle 360 presented by Millerstown Pick-A-Part. Used parts for less. Great parts, great selection. For more information, visit pickapartyard.com.
Welcome to another episode of Open Throttle 360. We're at Fowler Automotive Street and Track, also known as Fast Company Productions. Trip, a lot of really cool cars here.
Yeah, I walk in and I see a gorgeous Porsche Carrera over here and a GT350, which I'd love to drive out of here, and kind of getting spoiled being around all these incredibly nice cars. Obviously, just coming back from World of Wheels, my first experience there, and got to see the crowds and the cars and all kinds of stuff. It was really an amazing experience.
The World of Wheels is great. There's a little bit of everything for the car person. You got your high-end customs, restored antiques, muscle cars, and just some daily driver cars that are in nice shape.
Yeah, it really had it all. I mean, everything from motorcycles to, the Batmobile. 3 generations of the Batmobile were there. The ZZ Top Eliminator car. Eddie Munster, I didn't get a chance to hang out with him and didn't quite look like I remembered him, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great time.
The World of Wheels is similar to the Smithsonian Institute. There's so much there, you just can't see it all in one day.
Yeah, it was amazing, and I didn't know what to expect. It was a little slow the first night, a lot to do with the snow, but I think everybody that wasn't able to make it out Friday night just blew the place up on Saturday. It was around the block, people trying to get in, and it was just pandemonium, but it was a lot of fun. If you've never had a chance to experience the World of Wheels or you weren't able to get out there, take a look at this, you'll like it. Recently, Open Throttle 360 made our way down to the David L. Lawrence Convention Center for the 52nd Annual World of Wheels. A cornucopia of big engines, ridiculous paint jobs, nostalgia, and everything a gearhead could ever ask for under one roof. For 3 days, people from all walks of life flocked to the show for their annual fix of motorsports mayhem. And we're talking more than just hot rods and souped-up rides. There were big race cars and little race cars, beat-up-looking trucks and big trucks. Plenty of people taking pictures. You could even learn the ins and outs of getting in and out of a race car. Little rides for the kids and badass rides for mom and dad. Bands rocking the house and custom shops chopping up cars. But in spite of all the fun, the big reason people show up for the World of Wheels are the awards. The awards include Outstanding Display, Outstanding Engine, Outstanding Interior, Outstanding Custom, Outstanding Street Rod, Rising Star, Steel City Award, and much, much more. 3 days of motorsports mayhem was just enough to get you psyched for spring. If you missed the World of Wheels this time around, make sure you catch it next year with Open Throttle 360.
Okay, you've had a chance to see what was going on down at the World of Wheels car show. While we were down there, we caught up with our friend Bruce Harvey. Had 6 cars in the show. One of them you've seen before here on Open Throttle 360. Let's take a look. We're at the World of Wheels car show. Last time we talked to Bruce Harvey from ProComp Customs, I asked him, was he ever going to get a chance to relax? And he told me he wouldn't when he's at the show. Well, Bruce, we're at the show. Did you get a chance to relax?
I'm relaxed. This is awesome. Enjoying the show.
Tell us about this car here. It's a 2010 Camaro. Now, I've seen this car sitting outside of your shop in all kinds of weather, but I'm looking at the paint now. The shine off it is just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, we spent like an hour on it, a little light buff and a wax, and it was ready to go. If there's no salt on the roads, I'm driving it. That's an awesome car. I love driving it. A lot of mods. Everything's been changed on the car except the hood and the roof.
What do we have here, this pickup?
This is a 35 International. Custom paint with some custom airbrushing. That's Sunset Pearl on there. The bed is really cool because that's all airbrushed, and it's got a real nice interior. It's a nice runner.
One more car that we're going to look at in this segment, 1932 Ford.
Small block Chevy with a 671 with blower carb sitting on top. It's got power trunk, power windows. It's a nice driver too.
They didn't have power windows back in 32.
No power windows then. It's all House of Color candy brandy wine over some underbases that are misted back and forth to give that effect.
Is that one of the Bruce Harvey secrets there?
That's a secret I won't tell.
If I promise not to tell anybody?
Well, we'd have to think about that.
We've looked at 3 of the cars you have on display here. We'll look at the other 3 cars in just a little bit.
Best tires, parts, and service. Tire Town.
If you're looking for parts for your car, truck, or van, you gotta come to Millerstown Pick a Part. We have the area's best selection of parts and we let you pick it yourself. We offer the lowest prices around, or if you'd prefer, we'll find the part for you. Millerstown Pick a Part. Parts for newer cars, classic cars, foreign cars, trucks, and vans. Located in Serena, Millerstown Pick a Part is right up Route 28 from downtown Pittsburgh. Millerstown Pick a Part, 724-224-4777 or online at pickapartyard.com.
Welcome back to Open Throttle 360. We're at Fowler Automotive Street and Track, also known as Fast Company Productions. With me now is the owner of the business, Dan Fowler. Dan, thanks for having us here today.
Happy to have you here, Don.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Vintage car race preparation, historic car preparation, street maintenance on exotic and highline cars, but we're capable of fixing everything and anything, and we're a full service garage.
Got some pretty interesting cars here. Tell us a little bit about them.
This was a 1995 Acura NSX. It's a rather rare sports car that Honda built, and they're coming back with a new one. But this is a 1964 Triumph Spitfire. It's a new acquisition to us, and did a lot of preparation work on it, getting ready to go for the season. This is a 1973 Porsche. It's an RSR clone. Some assembly required, but we're getting to it.
I know Porsche isn't considered a kit car. Almost looks like this one might be thought of as that. How'd you get into this line of work?
Started at a very early age. I was 1969, fixed my first Ferrari. My first car was like a 1958 MGA. Led on to Alfa Romeos, but these are all cars that I'm still fixing them, and a labor of love.
Not many people can say the first car they worked on was a Ferrari. That's pretty cool. You mentioned the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. Do you expect to have some cars in there this year?
Yeah, like 10 or 12.
Have you had a lot of success in that event?
We won the race at Beaver Run 4 years in a row with a really neat car that got sold and went to Australia. I lost a part of me with that one, but
4 years in a row, that's pretty cool. Well, last week we were down at the World of Wheels car show at the Convention Center, and we saw a very interesting car. It was a Bonneville car built out of a belly tank from a World War II fighter plane. Let's take a look at that feature right now. We're at the World of Wheels car show. One of the most interesting cars here. This is what's called a belly tank car. Built for the Bonneville Salt Flats. With me now is Jim and Jimmy Burgess. Jim, why don't you tell us just a little bit about how this car came to be?
Last year about this time, the gentleman we built it for contacted us through a friend of mine, and he said, "Can you build this car for me?" I said, "Yeah, I guess we can." He said he had a picture of a 1950s belly tanker from Bonneville. James and I went down to the shop, met with him, and he said, "Do you think you can do this?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Do you think we can have it done in August to go to Bonneville?" I said, "Well, sure, anything's possible." So it was one of the things that we just started on it, and there was no engineering plans. There was a photograph and parts.
The term belly tank car, back during World War II, the P-38 fighters had a extra fuel tank underneath they called a belly tank. And when that tank went dry, they just dropped it. Well, these surplus tanks, a lot of the hot rodders came home from the war, and these are some of the first cars ever built for Bonneville because
that's
the
correct.
belly tank was so aerodynamic.
Right, and they were plentiful. They were cheap.
And very lightweight.
Yes.
So people start turning them into land speed cars. What do we have for a power plant in this?
This is an LS1 Chevy Avalanche motor that's in your common street Chevy Avalanche, but it's been totally rebuilt. It's 323 cubic inches, twin turbos off a Cummins diesel on E85 fuel, 2,000 horsepower, about 30 pounds of boost.
What kind of speeds do you think this car is capable of attaining?
We're hoping to go 363 mile an hour plus, which would put him in the record books at Bonneville next year.
Who's going to drive the car?
Don Gilmore's going to drive it. I'm going to drive it. My son James is going to get a shot at it also.
Not all at once. It's a little
It's a
crowded.
little crowded, yeah,
But everybody's going to get a shot at driving
we're going to
it.
get a...
Have you ever done any of that land speed racing before?
No, I've went in circles for 40 odd years. You know that. But,
yeah, you put a lot of time in on the dirt tracks.
Yes, I have.
Jimmy, have you ever driven anything like this before?
No, I haven't. Other than my Mustang up and down 28, but nothing like this before.
Bonneville's one of the places I've always wanted to go to. If you're a hot rodder, that's like hot rod heaven out there, and I hope things turn out for you. Beautiful piece of work. You got to be real proud of the work you put in.
We are, and I thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks, and like I said, good luck with the car.
All right, Tom, thank you very much.
This is Tom Lang reporting for Open Throttle 360. We're at the World of Wheels car show. Once again, we're with Bruce Harvey. Bruce, a couple of weeks ago, we shot an episode of the show at your shop, and we're gonna look at this Nova here. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's a 66 Nova. It's got a 434 cubic inch, basically a race motor, putting out at least 700 horsepower with a really built up transmission, a turbo 350. We got some crazy paint on it. Not gaudy, but just crazy in detail. Fades from like a root beer to tangerine with the graphic that kind of flows right in, but it's actually all candy tangerine over different underbases.
So that's another one of those Bruce Harvey secrets you're not going to share with us?
You got it.
Here is one of the classic muscle cars from the muscle car era, a Pontiac GTO.
It's a 67 GTO. It's got a 400 pushing about 500 horse with a 5-speed behind it. It's got a graphic that kind of fades in and out. You know, sometimes you can't see it depending on the sun. Other than that, it's just a nice driver. When it comes to a muscle car like that, you can't go too far. You got to keep that muscle car image and just detail it more.
We'll show some respect for the cars that built the muscle car era.
Yes.
Now, there's nothing stock here. This is about as outrageous a car as I've seen.
Believe it or not, this car is still all steel, but every square inch has pretty much been changed. It's been chopped, channeled, sectioned, widened. We built hand-built the fenders, running boards, and rear fenders. Pretty much changed everything on the car. And of course, you can see the main power plant being a 528 Keith Black Hemi, 1471 blower with two 1050 Dominators sitting on top, putting out about 1,300 horsepower.
Some of the people at the show told me that this car actually drove in here.
Oh yeah.
You had this baby running?
Oh, I love driving this car.
And they tell me it about thundered the walls down in here.
Oh, it's like a monster truck. It sounds just like a monster truck.
I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the kind of cars that shows off all the skill that you have between the paint, the wheels, everything that's done on this car. It's a true work of art.
Thank you.
You know it, we know it, they know it. So you just got your license and want a new ride, but nobody will help you? Well, nobody will help you. At Pinnacle, we love new drivers, and we got your back like nobody's business. Who's putting money back in your wallet? Nobody. Who's got the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles? Nobody. Pinnacle Auto Sales, Route 30 in Jeanette, Route 30 Greensburg, or PinnacleAutoSales.com.
Would you like to turn your scrap into cash? For more than 30 years, D&D Salvage has been providing the best prices and the best service for all types of scrap metal. From cars to cans, walk it in or haul it in. Located under the 62nd Street Bridge in Lawrenceville, D&D Salvage pays you the best prices in the area. D&D Salvage. Visit them on the web at dndsalvagepittsburgh.com or call them at 412-781-9840. D&D Salvage. Turn your scrap into cash. While we were down at the World of Wheels, obviously got a chance to see a lot of really remarkable cars, and one of them, a couple buddies of Tom's named Larry and Steve built a brand new 1937 Chevy, do some drag racing locally, and that's right, I said a brand new 1937 Chevy. Let's take a look at that now.
We're at the World of Wheels car show, and with us now is Larry Serenari and Steve Roth in this beautiful 1937 Chevy, top sportsman car. Guys, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Larry, beautiful car you got here.
I appreciate that.
How long has this car been in the works putting this deal together?
Total labor of love, probably about 6 or 7 years, but the last 2 years here.
Steve, you built this car, you built it from the ground up?
From scratch. From a kit from Vanishing Point, but I built the fixture to build it on, and just from basically a box of tubing, and this is what we ended up with.
So this never started life as an actual 37 Chevy?
No, everything on it is aftermarket. Full fiberglass body. It's a 6.0 certified chrome ollie chassis, and like I said, everything on it is all aftermarket.
What do we got for a power plant here?
Well, I got a Ryan Morrison 638 dynoed about 1,300, all motor.
How fast do you think this thing will run in a quarter mile with that kind of horsepower?
We're hoping for 740 to 750, probably 180 mile an hour is what we're hoping for.
Steve, this isn't the first race car you've built. It's actually an occupation for you.
Pretty much, mostly a side type occupation, but I've been doing it for probably pretty close to 30 years, building different cars. The difference of this car from all the other cars I've built was this car is from scratch. The other cars that I would build is I might get the chassis already assembled, or it might just be a back half car or something like that. So this car is really unique from all the rest of the cars that I have worked on.
Well, you guys are teammates at the racetrack. Tell us a little bit about, what is it, Silvermine Racing?
Silvermine Motorsports, and it encompasses my cars, which I have 3 of them, and I sponsor Steve, and I sponsor a couple junior dragsters. I love the sport.
Now, mostly you race at Pittsburgh Raceway Park, but
The
with
home
this
track,
car, you're planning on branching out this year. Where do you expect to go?
Well, definitely Dutch Classic, Super Chevy.
Plan on going to the Pro-Am at MIR, Skyview Drags in New York, and I think we're planning on going to Martin, Michigan also.
You've got to the point where you have this beautiful new car. Are there any other dreams of race cars out there you haven't achieved yet?
We'll see. We'll see.
Well,
as long as I stay healthy, I love the sport, and I couldn't have a better teammate than Steve. So,
well, lots of luck with the new car. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. And when we get up Pittsburgh Raceway Park, we'll get some shots of this car going down the track.
we'll be there.
That'd be great.
Okay, thanks for taking the time to
No
talk
problem.
with us.
Thank you.
This is Tom Lang reporting for Open Throttle 360.
All right, so what are you trying to figure out now?
Well, how do you get this engine in this car? Do you lift the engine up, you bring the car down?
Well, I ain't helping you pick that up, so you probably don't want to bring the car down. Hey, back to the world of wheels. In addition to the 3 days of talking to some people and looking at beautiful cars, I know they give out awards as well, don't they?
Oh, plenty of them. There's a best in show, best in class. They even have an award for best club display. We had a chance to talk to a couple of the car owners that were recognized. Let's take a look at that now. We're here on day 2 of the World of Wheels show at the Lawrence Convention Center. There's an old saying, everybody loves a winner. Well, I got 2 of them with me here right now, Bruce Harvey and
Tom Buchanan.
And Tom, you own this beautiful Nova here?
I sure do.
How much input did you have on what this car was going to end up looking like when it was done?
You know, I wanted something to rock. I not only wanted it to look good, I wanted it to rock.
Well, Bruce, this isn't the only award you took here today. How many did you win with?
Well, we got 6 cars here, and they all got awards, so I'm really happy.
Another one of the 6-pack of winners out of the Bruce Harvey Pro Comp stable, Don Bick. Don, tell us a little bit about your GTO.
It's a 67 GTO that we were lucky enough to find after looking around for quite a bit. And then I was lucky enough to get together with Bruce, and Mr. Harvey made what you see here.
You gotta love the kind of work that Bruce put into the car.
Amazing amount of hours, and everybody knows that doing this kind of work to a car is, you got to be pretty passionate about it.
Would you recommend Bruce Harvey to anybody else that was looking to have a car built like this?
Yeah, just about everybody. I'd recommend Bruce. I don't know anybody that lays paint like Bruce does. And I look around, I'm here at all these shows, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Bruce, you hear all this nice stuff this guy's saying about you over here? Your head's not getting too big, is it?
No, not too big. I'm just proud to be here.
Well, 6 awards out of 6 cars here. Good day for Bruce Harvey and Pro Comp Customs, and a great day for Don Bick. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Love your show. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
At Tire Tech, only the finest service will Tire Tech.
Statistics show that a lack of sideways control or lateral grip is the cause of most winter accidents. Tire Town will make sure you have the right kind of tire to bite into the snow and grip the ice, reducing your chances of ending up somewhere you don't want to be. Don't take chances this winter. Visit Tire Town today, North Atherton Street, State College.
Tire Town. Quality customer service for you.
Sounds every man loves to hear.
Ooh, nice hair.
Text Super PGH to 667-788 for special offers from Supercuts.
Time for our regular GoPro segment featuring local racers and some in-car footage. If you'd like to be part of the show, go to OpenThrottle360.com, follow the link to upload your footage. Let's GoPro now.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Open Throttle 360 and allowing us to take you to the world of wheels recently.
I'd like to thank Dan Fowler from Fowler Automotive Street and Track for hosting the show here tonight. You have any particular favorite out of all these cars?
You know, it's tough. I mean, I don't know how you go against a beautiful Porsche Carrera like this, but you know, I'm a Ford GT350 Mustang kind of guy.
I'm not that hard to please. I'll take any one of them.
Yeah. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions for Open Throttle 360, send us an email at OpenThrottle360.com. And as always, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Open Throttle 360 will be at the Pittsburgh International Auto Show. Look for highlights in an upcoming episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.